We're gonna get Smitten here. Smitten. It's a word you don't use very much, you know what I mean? I feel like that would be like my grandfather if he was talking to my 8-year-old son about all 4 of his current crushes. He would say, "Oh, you're smitten with these young ladies? With these young lasses?" It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, discussing incredible classic beers, and Bell's Brewing does it yet again. This is the 11th beer that I have done from Bell's Brewing for Old Favorite Friday, leading the pack for the brewery that I've done the most of. And that is because 2 things. One, I'm a Michigander at heart. That's where I was born and raised. But also because Bell's is just that fantastic. And I was so happy to walk to Total Wine & More and see this mixed 12-pack. Of beers that they are bringing back, other than Two Hearted, which is always available. But as you can see in here, Best Brown, beer that was recently featured, or at least last year was featured on Old Favorite Friday. This hazy IPA, which I'd never tried before, actually. I've never seen it in Florida. I tried that last night, it was fantastic. But the star here is the Smitten Rye Golden Ale. I'll be honest with you, I had this beer one time before I got this 12-pack, and that was at the Eccentric Cafe. Years and years ago, probably around the time this beer was released, around 2010 to 2012, is when the beer was first introduced at the Eccentric Cafe. It eventually got into the rotation as a winter seasonal beer, which I love. I love seeing winter beers that are not dark and dense. I always say, you know, just because it's cold outside doesn't mean you can't have a cold beer, right? We have temperature control in our house for a reason. But this Rye Golden Ale would have been just fantastic to have amongst a sea of imperial stouts and quads and things like that that were coming especially over the winter. They did discontinue this beer, I think I said around 2017, but they're bringing it back. Breweries like this are just, I mean, it's just so beautiful to see beers that were beloved by the population of people who drank these beers. They went out of rotation because, you know, the tastes have changed in the market, but they bring them back and we get a chance to try it. So this is the Rye Golden Ale. Rye beers, very popular for a point in time, probably around the time this beer was released, but give that rye malt, that spiciness, that zestiness, the dryness, a little bit of bitterness that comes from the hops we're using here. There's pepperiness to it. This is an earthy floral beer with a hint of citrus, and it's just beautiful. I really wish that people were brewing more with rye these days. It's something that we haven't done much at Barrel of Monks, but just like so many times with Old Favorite Friday, I get reintroduced to a beer and it sparks some ideas, and we'll go out there and do something. So hopefully you'll be seeing a rye beer at some point in the near future from Barrel of Monks, because drinking this beer makes me remember how wonderful that is. Kudos as always to Bell's for making a great beer, for bringing the beer back. That I definitely was underappreciated while it was there and in the normal rotation. For a food pairing here, I'm looking at sausage and peppers with a garlic and oil pasta. It's important. I wouldn't do it with the tomato sauce. A lot of sausage and peppers go with tomato sauce. I think the acidity might clash a little bit, but with just garlic and oil, those umami flavors. You have the rye that would play into all the spices and stuff inside of a sausage. And then you also have the sweetness of the pepper and onion that are playing off the bitterness and the earthiness that you're going to get from this beer. I think it'd be brilliant. I think it's going to balance the flavors out really, really well. There's a lot of fun things you can do with a rye beer. One of the reasons why I think more people should be doing it, they pair really well with food. Thank you guys as always for joining us for Old Favorite Friday. Go on the rest of our channel, look at all the other incredible beers that we've talked about over the years as we feature incredible classic beers that don't get the love and respect that they so rightfully deserve. We'll see you next time. Cheers.